Hello everybody and welcome back to another Anti-MLM Vlogmas video. Today it is Vlogmas Day 10. Hello and welcome, I'm Christine. I'm glad you're here. Today we're going to take a look at another team call from a pharmacy distributor, and this is kind of the continuation of Vlogmas Day 8. On that day, we learned how she wanted to advise her team to sell products better by choosing 5 hero products out of the entire product range from Farmasi. Farmasi sells beauty products and hair care and health and wellness products, so supplements and also face care. So you as a distributor are expected to pick out at least 5 products, showcase them regularly on social media, switch them out occasionally, get some pricier products, get some cheaper products. All products the distributors themselves also have to buy regularly over the course of 90 days. So you're also expected to repurchase them and showcase them on your social media. And in today's call, it's kind of the continuation of that. She will teach us how to sell on social media. So you have your hero products, you love them, you're obsessed with them, according to her. And we're going to take a look how you can get started on social media to sell, in my opinion, overrated pharmacy products.
All right. So tonight we're talking social selling 101. And if you can see what I wrote there, it's going to take time. Okay. It's going to take time. So tonight I wanted to chat with you guys about last week. We talked about how to identify your hero products and focusing in on 5 products. And tonight I want to give you some tips on, okay, what do you do now?
I will link the video up here. That was Vlogmas Day 8 if you want to take a look at it. But I will also, at the end of the video, very likely link the entire playlist. I have a Vlogmas 2025 playlist. But if you want to catch up on that previous call, it's not necessary to understand this one. But if you want to catch up on that, then go ahead and do that.
Now that you have those 5 products and you've identified what your brand is, your hero things are, what do you do with it? And how do you get the best bang for your buck in sharing? Because I want to help you make money. I want to help you make sales, and I want to help you help other people find these products that they enjoy and that you enjoy and that enhance people's lives. So I need you to know this though, okay? We're going to start here. If you're looking for an overnight easy path to success, it is not network marketing. Networking takes time, effort, consistency, focus, and listen, a doing it anyway mentality.
What is missing here is also that it takes a lot of money. You will have to spend a lot of money on this. Why are we never mentioning that? It's not an overnight success because you need to sell the product, and if we're real here, you need to recruit a team of people who also sell the product so that you can participate in your team's efforts and your team sales as well. But until you might have reached the point where you're actually able to consistently make a profit, if you are lucky enough, because most people lose money in network marketing across the board, industry standard 0. Most people actually lose money. You will spend a lot of money, either on the starter kit, which is just $19.99 if you want to get the basic one for Farmasi, but then there are no products in that kit. It's just a bunch of samples. If you want to get a starter kit with products, you very likely spend $125, maybe over 200. If you want to get the full Shazam, you could also get the one for 500 because you got to use the products, you got to love the products, you got to pick out your 5 hero products, you got to showcase them, repurchase them again if you're supposed to post over 90 days because consistency is king, consistency is key. Then you need to switch these products out occasionally for other products. If the products that you show don't ring a bell or they don't ring any excitement with your audience, you also got to switch them out, so you have to have other products at hand. You will have to spend a whole lot of money if you're even ever able to make a profit. We're never mentioning this here. This is absurd.
Here's what a doing it anyway mentality is. You're tired? Doing it anyway. You're scared? Doing it anyway. You're uncomfortable? Doing it anyway. It's hard for you? Doing it anyway.
You're broke, you don't have any money, you're already in debt, you're doing it anyway.
You don't know an area, you're not an expert at something? Doing it anyway. Success in network marketing takes that doing it anyway mentality where you're not going to let something stand in your way or become an obstacle that's going to hold you back from succeeding. But I need you to know this, networking, just like relationships and getting to know someone, that's what networking is, by the way. It's building relationships and getting to know people. That takes time. You very rarely meet someone and you're like, oh, OMG, we're best friends on day one, right? Like the depth in relationships comes in time. It's the same thing in networking and growing your network and being successful in network marketing. In order to have depth and growth, it's going to take time. Okay.
Yeah, but why? If it's not working out for you, if it's not for you, then why don't you just leave and do something else? Because good salespeople are able to sell from the day they get started at the job, from the day they run their company, they get their own sales. So maybe it's the system that is flawed if it takes a lot of time and the doing it anyway mentality. Why do you have to be scared? Why do you not know what to do? Maybe learn those things. And don't do something because you're scared consistently. That's not growth. That is a horrible outlook on life.
But the good news is time and network marketing and this company, Farmasi, brings freedom that no other opportunity can give you. And I don't know where you can go and make a full-time income, but also be present and make your own rules and make your own schedule and work part-time. Or if you're not feeling good one day, you don't have to call the boss and ask for them to take time off, and freedom to work from your phone, and you can work from your office or your car or the kids' car line or the grocery store or on vacation. No other opportunity brings the freedom that this one does. And my favorite part about network marketing is that you can bring others with you.
Well, that's actually the essential part because otherwise you will not be successful in network marketing. And that brings a freedom that no other opportunity gives you. You can have all of the freedom you want in network marketing. If you make $0 at the end of the year, then that is not freedom, then that is a pricey hobby. And other jobs can give you a whole lot of freedom as well. You run your own company, you work remotely, you work hybrid. We never heard of that.
So where do we start? Okay. You've identified your hero products. How now do we share them and get the max bang for our buck with what we're doing and actually get sales and recruits and build our business? First thing is you got to get crystal clear on your brand, your message, and your vision. What is your brand? Your brand is not Farmasi. Your brand is not EU standards, wellness, skincare, nutrition, makeup. Your message and your vision, they are so unique to you and they set you apart and they make you desirable and they make you stand out and they make you be recognizable. So you got to get crystal clear on what that is. Otherwise, everything you're sharing is going to be like mumbled, jumbled, kind of messy. No one's going to understand. Okay. The next thing is you got to eliminate distractions. There are always going to be things tugging at you in your life. There are always going to be opportunities somewhere else. There are always going to be companies launching new products that create waves on social media. There's always going to be something happening in some other community. There's going to be distractions everywhere. There's always going to be a distraction, but you've got to eliminate them because you got to give yourself a fighting chance at being successful. Just like Nathan said earlier, he's like, I recognize that it's not good for me to scroll on social media. That's him giving himself a fighting chance at feeling good during the day. You got to give yourself a fighting chance. So if going on social media into a group or seeing a person or what someone does or doesn't do in their life, if that is a temptation for you to either compare your life to them or to go down some kind of rabbit hole that makes you not feel good or feel some kind of way about yourself, you need to unfollow or block or leave the group. And it's not because you want to be a jerk. It's because you want to give yourself a fighting chance at staying focused.
Is it really about staying focused? I understand that when you work and you consistently take a look at your phone, did a message pop up? Oh, what's going on there? That is distracting. But taking a look at other opportunities with their viral products, aka other network marketing companies where the distributors claim that they have viral products, those are distractions that could lead to you leaving Farmasi, leaving her team, and that is something she doesn't want. And don't compare yourself to others. I think there's a good thing in comparing yourself to others or taking a look what others are doing. And if you recognize that others are also losing money, they're also not happy in network marketing, there are people critical of the business model that would also be or could be considered a distraction, then you should also eliminate that so that you don't leave Farmasi, so that you don't leave her team, because she needs you on her team. Because if her team is shrinking, and she experienced that when she was in Sensi and she left for Farmasi, I bet that her paycheck is nowhere close to what she made in Sensi during the high times. And a lot of people very likely, although she was in a very privileged situation, she had a big team, a certain amount of people very likely went with her to Farmasi. Probably not everybody. Some people stuck it out at Sensi. Other people probably left network marketing altogether because a lot of people were really mad at Sensi and very likely just left network marketing behind them altogether. And those are the distractions you don't want to do. You don't want to take a look at because it could be beneficial for you, but not for your team lead. So take a look at distractions. That's also okay.
And you can't stay focused if you're constantly putting things in your path and putting things in your site path and worrying about what other people are or aren't doing. You can't stay focused. It's very distracting. And distraction is a business killer, my friends. It's a business killer. Lastly, after you've gotten crystal clear, eliminated distractions to give yourself a fighting chance, you got to go all in. And this is what we call burn the boats. I learned about this many years ago and it has like really stuck with me for, I'm talking 13 years. This is what it is. I'm also like a history nerd and I love this. So in 1519, the Spanish conquistador Hernan Cortez landed in Mexico and ordered that all of their ships be burned and destroyed. So they came from Spain all across the ocean, landed in Mexico, and then burned all of the boats because he decided that if there was no way out, if there was no way home, they had no other option but conquer or die. And this analogy is used in business building and in marketing very often. This is giving yourself a fighting chance at succeeding. This means no going back and no plan B. You got to identify what are your boats and you got to burn them. Where are you giving yourself a backup plan? Where are you giving yourself a way out? Where are you giving yourself, if this Farmasi doesn't work, it's okay, I still have this. I've burned my boats. Okay, I've burned my boats. I don't have a choice. This is conquer or die, right? For me, I'm all in. You got to burn your boats.
That is so irresponsible, though. If you want to give people a true chance at fighting, then you also need to be honest that most people in network marketing lose money. So you're asking people to burn boats in an industry where most people don't even make a profit. It would be different if it were an actual opportunity, an actual business opportunity. If they had an actual chance across the board, a good amount of people actually had the ability to build a career for themselves, to actually build a business for themselves, but not in network marketing. And that is why this is so irresponsible. Because burning the boats means that you have more time to spend on Farmasi, to recruit and to sell. And when you are desperate and you have no other way out, on top of that, retire your husband. How many times have we heard that? You're the sole income earner and then your paycheck is crumbling. Then you will do whatever it takes to make an income and to make a profit. And that is just desperation. And it is sad to see because lots of people on this team very likely also will lose money. That's the industry standard. So to tell your people, burn your boats is highly, highly irresponsible. Have a plan B. Have a full-time job. Don't give that one up until you're stable over the course of months and months and months and months. And you understand the fluctuations also within network marketing. Have other streams of incomes. Have a partner who can support you maybe. But just to say burn your boats is just absolutely irresponsible.
So let's talk about the rule of 7. In marketing, the rule of 7 suggests that it can take 7 interactions with your brand to drive a consumer to action. An interaction is basically anytime your product or your brand or your imagery is in front of their face and they see it. Not like they've scrolled past it, but like they see it. They actually see it. However, in our digital and social media selling age, it is very noisy and attention spans are shorter, so it can often take more than 7. Research suggests 20 plus impressions for a cold market. This means someone who's never purchased Farmasi from you, it can take them 20 plus times of seeing you share a specific product or opportunity before they're interested in moving on it. This means you can't give up on time number 11. This means you can't give up after you've done the same thing 14 times and no one's purchasing it. It's not the time to give up, because you're 6, 7 away, right, from making it to that impression point where they're actually driven to move to action. So your cold market can be 20 plus impressions. Your warm market, these are engaged followers or people on your email list. It can be 7 plus impressions. And then retargeted campaigns, these are people who have already purchased from you. It can be less, usually like 2 to 5 impressions it can take before they're moved to action. But I want to get clear on this too, okay? This doesn't mean that 20 times for your cold market, this doesn't mean they see the logo Farmasi 20 times. This means they see masculine cologne 20 times before they're moved to action on masculine cologne. Then if I want to sell them something else, this means they have to see that 20 times before they're moved to action. So it's not just like how many times are they seeing my face a day or how many times am I using the word Farmasi. It really can be this many times before someone is moved to action. So same thing with the business opportunity. Think about you sharing the 50% discount for influencers. It can take someone 20 impressions before that sinks in, before they're interested in like, maybe that's a good idea. Maybe I should get a discount on my skincare. So do you see how the first time you capture someone, it's a lot more, but when you're retargeting your existing relationships, it's significantly less effort? The most effort is going to happen on that first purchase, getting them to try something for the very first time. This is why customer relationship management and taking great care of your customers and building relationships with people who do purchase, taking good care of them, meeting their needs, anticipating their needs. This is why this is so valuable, because it takes you significantly less effort to get a second or third or fourth or 18th purchase from them, okay? So here's what we learned. From all of this stuff, here's what we learn. This is crucial. Consistency above all else. Hear me. Repeat after me. Consistency above all else. Don't be playing games, okay? You got to stay consistent. Relationships and quality engagement matter. These are some things that we've learned after all of these stats and research that I've shared with you. Quality engagement matters, and building relationships, especially when you're talking at like how many impressions someone has to have before they'll purchase again. Now, you can shorten the cycle by building trust. And this is where I think longevity comes into play. This is where you sticking it out for the long haul comes into play. The longer you're here and the more you do this, you'll be able to shorten that cycle. And everyone may not be 20 plus impressions for your cold market. You might be able to get that down to 12. You may be able to get that down to 10, right? You can shorten that by building trust. Here's how we do that. Authenticity in your sharing. This is more important than ever in 2025. People are less caring about polished content and they just want real content. That means you show up in your pajamas. That means you wash your face before you get on a Zoom call. That means your kids are running around in the background. That means you're putting makeup on in the car before you make it to work. That means you show up sleepy. That's what authenticity means. It means you talk about things that you don't like. You know what? The other day on my stories, you know what I said? I was like, I was making a drink with electrolytes and I put prime electrolytes in it because I don't like our electrolytes. I said, Farmasi carries electrolytes, but I don't care for them. And I like the prime ones. And so I'm putting prime in it. And that's authenticity, right? And that's helping me build trust.
But how authentic is that really? If you follow somebody and you like their personality, but they consistently pitch these products because you have to have 20 something impressions, or maybe 12 or maybe 10, because they regularly show up as themselves, but they're still showing you the products because that's their job. How authentic is that? I think only really good salespeople can actually do that. Because when you drink your Farmasi little drinks in the morning and your collagen, and then you say, you know what, I like my electrolytes, but I don't like the Farmasi electrolytes, then that might come across as authentic for you, but it's still a sales pitch. You're still talking about Farmasi and the Farmasi products, which can be a huge, huge overload. How authentic are you really, especially if you're not trained in sales? Can come across as rather stiff rather quickly, I think. So that's the tricky part, to be authentic while you try to sell people products and a business opportunity.
Next, consistent value. You want to be providing consistent value, and this means outside of what you're selling. So we're not just talking about value in the products that you're selling. I want you to have value that relates to your brand. Remember, we said get crystal clear on your brand. You want to provide consistent value to your following outside of what you're selling to build more trust. Community engagement builds trust. Okay, so this, when we're talking about social media specifically and social selling, the more you engage in your comments, the more you react to comments, reply to comments, take it to DMs, that really matters. Social proof, this builds trust in a really big way. People want to see that the products actually work. They want to see you using the products and see them work. They want to see before and afters. They want to see customer, what's the word I'm looking for? Reviews. Okay. I just made a post the other day. I'll ask my customers, like, what do you think? Or what kind of tips do you have that I can share with someone else? And then I'll ask them, do you mind if I share this, if I keep it anonymous? Right? So I'll screenshot what they said, and I made a post of everyone's reviews of what they're liking and things like that. Social proof is really important. Seeing that products actually work, and I want you to hear this too. When we're talking about wellness products, specifically wellness and nutrition and skincare, those things take time to see visual results that they work, right? That means you can't give up.
It means you cannot give up and you need to continue to purchase the products. Distributors are the best customers, because if you have to be the best customer to then use the products over an extended period of time, and she's right, if you have some sort of supplement or skincare or hair care, those things don't work overnight. As an independently contracted salesperson, you do not get paid for any of this. In fact, you pay the company that you're allowed to join, and then you purchase the products. Another expense, but good for your upline, because your upline will be able to benefit and profit of every single purchase you yourself make. And that's also why it is important for you to not just show the products on social media, but also to purchase them yourselves. That is such an essential part in the business model. And the people who are stuck with the money, who are stuck with the cost, are the distributors themselves, at least most of them, because most of them will not be able to make a profit. It's pricey. It's pricey to be in pharmacy and to follow all of these tactics. Let's be real here.
Which leads me to the next thing, which is you can't ghost. You can't ghost. You can't ghost on your people. You can't ghost on your recruits. You can't ghost on your team. You can't ghost on your social media. I get it. I get a social media break, 24 hours. I get it, all that. But you can't
24 hours
for a week or 2 weeks because you had a hard time or you were overwhelmed, because consistency above all else. Let's go back to the top. Consistency above all else. But you can't ghost and then come back or then switch to something else or what, and then expect people to want what you're offering. When you ghost and when you switch and when you do, this just breaks trust with people.
That means you cannot take a break for 2 weeks if you want to be successful in a network marketing company, because your team will fall apart, your customers don't love you anymore, and you need to post regularly. Sign me up for a pricey business opportunity where I have to work myself into the ground 24/7.
So you can't ghost and then peace out and come back in. People will not care what you're offering, and they won't want what you're offering.
But this is the one business opportunity, and this is the one company that can offer you all of the freedom. Where is the freedom? When are we coming to the freedom part?
So let's make our impressions effective, okay? These are how we make effective impressions. We want to take the time that we have and what we're sharing to people, we want them to work. We want them to work better. You can get better at impressions, by the way. This is a skill set that you can grow in. You can use things like ChatGPT to narrow down or clean up, or use AI to clean up your verbiage and clean up your words, things like that. So bringing clarity to your message. Value propositions are extremely important. Like, what kind of value are you proposing in your impressions to people? Are you making personal connections in your impressions? Are you letting them get to know you and you getting to know them? trusting the brand. Okay. Now here's another thing. Effective impressions, product type matters in effectivity. Impulse versus considered. If some, I'm gonna call a lippy or a mascara an impulse buy. Something that takes more consideration: restore, recharge, collagen, skincare, eye cream, right? Those higher ticket items. So your product type does matter too. If you're only sharing considered products, things that take time to show differences, your impression rate is gonna be long. People want to see the change. They want to see the consistency. They want to see the time. So make sure you mix it up and share some impulse buys too. Your platform choice matters when you're talking about effective impressions. TikTok has a different way of sharing than Instagram, than Facebook. They're different crowds, different people. And the last thing is your call to action effectiveness. A call to action is what you see on posts where it's like, DM me for the link, or comment heart on fire, and I'll send you the link, or comment info and I'll send you the free info, something like that. Call to action effectiveness does matter. And I think it's the most effective on Facebook, in my opinion. All right. So if you're going to share, which you are because you are a social seller, you're going to share every single day. Something needs to be coming out every single day from you. I don't mean you have to be like a reel a day plus stories plus all the things and everything. I don't, that's not what I mean, but I mean, you need to show up on social every single day. If that is overwhelming to you, or you're like, I want a day off, because I take Sundays off, like that's my day off. You can batch record and prepare your content so that it's just ready to go on that day. You don't have to be like in creativity mode every single day.
Wow, so you can batch film or batch record. That's what I also do on the weekends because I have a full-time job and I cannot film on weekdays. I also batch film and then I upload the 2 videos per week that I typically do, with an occasional German speaking video on a Sunday and the members videos at least once a month on a Wednesday. But in this case, you don't just batch record. You need to prep the videos, you need to prep the content, you need to upload it. And when you're network marketing and you're a social seller, it's your job to actually connect with people regularly. So if somebody is on your reel, if somebody's in your stories, you can see that. And a lot of network marketers will reach out. Hey, thank you for the follow. Why are you here? How can I help you? Something like this. You need to engage with your audience regularly. While it is a smart choice to batch film the content and to prepare it in advance and then to upload, that doesn't mean that you have a lot more free time, because you will still be on your social media and you still have to talk to people. You have to be in people's DMs, you have to cold message, reach out. Hey, what brought you to my page? That is very time consuming. So there is a lot more happening besides this batch recording.
Okay. If you're going to share, utilize stories, reels, static posts, carousels, live video, all the different ways of sharing. Dangerous consistency. Are you seeing a theme? Consistency above all else. Okay. Lastly, create a content calendar. This holds you accountable no matter what your mood is, because one thing I see social sellers doing is basically sharing with the ebb and flow of their mood or their vibe or how they're feeling about the day, or if something is busy at work or you're overwhelmed. And I get it, but a content calendar holds you accountable to sharing every single day. Here's an example of a content calendar. You can take a screenshot of this if you want to, recommend it.
No.
This is actually a content calendar created by our upline, More Than Business, that is for this month specifically, August, but you can create and recreate something like this every single month. And honestly, you can basically take this as a framework and just move things around on different days. It's pretty simple. But when you have, sometimes when you don't have a plan or you don't have a content calendar, you're kind of like, okay, what do I talk about today? And because we have 200 products, right? And because there is always the opportunity to join and some kind of promo, and there's always other things, what happens to you is that you just kind of do nothing, or you don't send a clear message like we talked about before. So content calendars help you get clarity and send clear messages.
That might be true, and I'm all for organization and setting your goals and really sticking to these. I also have my upload calendar and I will just push through, right? That's the one thing I think I can control on social media. And I've now uploaded at least 2 videos each and every week for the past 3 years almost. This December, end of December, it will be 3 years. plus an occasional German speaking video and a members video, also at least once a month. But the issue I see here is that the market is so overly saturated. If you want to do this as a job, and I don't do YouTube as a job, this is my hobby, I do it for fun, and I want the channel to be able to finance itself, and it does, which is great. I'm able to get a ring light, for example, or I got a new camera to up the quality of the video footage. All of that is fun for me and I enjoy it. While it requires organization and also certain dedication in my private life, I don't do this because I depend on YouTube money. But if you are in pharmacy and you are supposed to go all in, to burn all of the bridges, that would be me, like me saying, I'm going to quit my job and I will get rid of all of the other streams of income that I have because I just want to depend on YouTube, then I would be screwed. I would not be able to make a living with the money I make on YouTube. In pharmacy, you have so many people who post this. This is a calendar from her upline and she posts each and every day. Let's just say half of the people of this greater team in pharmacy do the same thing. Do you have an understanding how many people will do very similar content speaking about pharmacy products, about the pharmacy opportunity, about sales, about promos? The market is flooded on social media, on all social media platforms, with people pitching this. So how does a general audience, millions and millions and millions of people, how do they recognize specifically you when you will be drowned out in a flood of other pharmacy distributors who post essentially the same things, very similar products, very likely also the same products, plus your competitors, they're also connected to network marketing, plus companies that sell very similar things outside of network marketing. So that's a bit different than me doing YouTube for funsies. My livelihood doesn't depend on this. Theirs does if they want to take it seriously, according to her. I'm not sure how this is going to help them sell on social media. I mean, there were some practical tips, and there are some practical tips. I always appreciate that when they do it. And then in that case, wouldn't everybody on that team be successful? Wouldn't be Farmasi already be the most successful network marketing company? Those tips were successful, and Farmasi could say, we're the first network marketing company where everybody makes a profit. Everybody makes an income, yay us. But they don't have that.
And then this is something that I really love. This is a content cadence. This is something that you can also use that gives you a little bit more freedom in sharing. This is a 5-day cadence that you can literally repeat every single week. You can repeat these 5 days every single week. And this is making sure that you're hitting on all the different things that we talked about, that you're consistently sharing. But this is all about building trust, creating your brand, getting people to purchase. You're also getting impressions when you do this here. So Monday, you're doing value and education. You're building, this is building authority, and this is quick wins. These are some different formats you should use for that. Tuesday, social proof and results. We talked about the importance of people seeing social proof. You can get in a habit of sharing this every Tuesday, whatever the days you want, it doesn't matter. But Wednesday, personal story, relatable journey. This is building emotional trust with your audience and letting them get to know you. Because it's not just about you getting to know them. That's very, very important, but they need to get to know you. Thursday, engagement and community building. This is where you ask opinion questions. You ask, what kind of hairstyle should I get? What lippy should I wear today? You ask these kind of questions, and you get people talking and building in your community.
Yeah, so much to authenticity though. Why do you ask those questions? Because you really care what hairstyle you're supposed to wear next, what kind of clippy to wear. Do you actually care? The ambulance in my area is also like, alert, alert, scammer alert. That's the ambulance, not me, right? The ambulance, like scammer alert. How is that authenticity though? Because you're not asking because you're really interested. It's because you want engagement, because you want other people to comment. That's what the tile says, right? Thursday, engagement and community building, not because you want authentic and genuine feedback.
And Friday is the offer day. This is when you gently remind them that you sell something valuable, okay? This is, you can't skip this part either. Because if you're just like social proof and community building, but you never actually ask for a sale, You never actually talk about, hey, let's get this in your hands. Let's put this on your face. Let's get this in your body. Like, let's be drinking collagen. You actually have to do this part too. This is the offering part that's really important. Hopefully this was helpful and you guys have some tools to take with you and get moving, okay? You identified your 5 hero products. You're getting clear on your brand. You're getting clear on your vision and your message, but now you got to burn your boats. You got to eliminate distractions and you got to get to work. You got to share. You got to create the content. You got to use the calendar. You got to hold yourself accountable, and it's time to get to work. No one's going to do it for you. No one's going to do it for you. No one can build your business for you. No one can create your content. No one can come up with your ideas, but like literally we just gave you a ton of ideas on how to work and how to move and what to do. And so now you just got to go and get sharing. So thank you for spending your time with me. I hope that this was helpful.
I am not sure that this was helpful. And no, I'm not going to comment on her glasses. I will only comment one thing. If your glasses move all the time, you consistently have to push them up, and you have to push them up, and you have to push them up. And I've seen her now on multiple team calls. She always does that. I don't know if that's a nervous tic at this point or whatever it is. If your glasses drop off, maybe get different glasses, because then maybe the size and the shape and the weight of the glasses are not for you. I also wear my glasses. I need them for reading and I don't need to move them around all the time. That's all I will say about this. So was this helpful? Not really. It's helpful for me to understand, hey, team, purchase a lot of product, post about them regularly, don't take time off. 2 weeks off social media, oh, you silly, silly, silly geese. Everybody will forget about you because you're working in an extremely saturated area. And now after this team call, everybody will post the same thing. Across the team, across Farmasi, across other network marketing companies where the uplines also tell their teams what to post and what their strategy is. You're just copying what other people are doing, what other people are doing, what other people are doing, with a meager outcome where most people in network marketing will very likely lose money. So it's a no for me. Happy Vlogmas Day 10. This was door number 10 in your digital advents calendar. I hope you liked the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up. The playlist, the Anti-MLM Vlogmas playlist 2025 will be linked up here if you want to catch up on the other videos. And if you liked this video, then hopefully I will see you tomorrow when the next door of the digital advents calendar opens on day 11. And if you like these types of videos, then hopefully I will see you in my next one. Until then, tschüss!